Yeah. Hey. Woo. Wow. Let's go.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Untamed. Wake up.
First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Wake up, 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 wake up.
Shout out to Sherman Wells.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
I'm trying.
Wake up, wake up. You better wake up from this dream. Life is not what it seems.
Time to wake up.
Culture's not your reality. You better unplug or be a casualty. Cause the life that we losing, the drugging and boozing is keeping us off from our greatness. We gotta spread the love and stop hating. Then rearrange these front pages.
Thanks for joining us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is a hump day today. Wednesday, November the 19th, 2025. That was a sad hump day over there, buddy. You must be tired. You tired, boss?
Yeah, I can't get the hump off my back.
Got to get the hump off your back on this hump day.
Yeah, man.
Ooh, yeah, everybody's kind of tired. But, par for the course. Get up pretty early. Pretty early for this. Burning the candle at both ends. Makes you tired.
Yeah, that doesn't help. That doesn't help at all.
Hopefully, we can wake you up this morning as well, just like Sherman Wells is trying to wake me up right now with that song. Whew. Yeah, welcome. We appreciate you guys joining us this morning. It'll be a very interesting conversation today. We got Kimmer Snipes getting up early saying good morning. Hey, Kimmer, I meant to ask you about Noma, that Noma night that we ran into each other. Is that a Wednesday night thing? Let me know. I kind of want to get over there and talk to those guys about promoting some of the stuff they're doing, because they got some programs and they're getting down, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. So yeah, let's talk about it. Pops in the morning in the chat saying good Wednesday morning and mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you, Pops. Larry Keister said, "What's up, Wednesday?" What's up is trying to be up on Wednesday morning. Marlon Harrison gives us a good morning, First Sky family, and happy Wellness Wednesday. Appreciate that, Marlon. Nice reminder. I'm gonna have to do that. Well, some wellness may include taking a siesta this afternoon. Well, we'll see how that works out. Let us know what you do for your self-care. We appreciate you guys joining us this morning again, buddy. You slumped in the cut. Like you going to sleep on the mic over. You good?
Tired, boss. I'm tired.
Okay. Did you cook up last night at the very least?
I did not cook up. I was going through some music, going through some catalog, crate work.
Well, I know you tired now because I said it to try to get you hyped up, and you went right back to sleep. So
that's what made me tired.
You was thinking about why you tired.
Yeah, it's just the mind, man. It does what it wants sometimes. I'm gonna just knock this work out 30 minutes. Just finish this here project. Just finish this here task. Right. Mm-hmm. You look up 3 hours then pass. You like, all right.
Rabbit hole. That's what we call that. You went down one. Let us know how your morning's going. Michelle Moreno gives us a good morning. Appreciate you this morning. Kimmer Snipes, oh man, I thought maybe you wanted to ask me about my side of the whole school board resolution thing. I wasn't necessarily going to put you on the spot like that.
We'll get into it though if you got some input.
We can get into it. I actually did want to ask you about that, but I was going to ask you first before we got on the show talking about it. But it's up to you. She says, but yes, that is Wednesday night thing. Okay, cool. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna try to see what's up, man. They got some jam sessions over there at Noma. Kids playing learning drums, all kinds of stuff, and I'm interested. So let's see what's going on there. She also says I'm going to start winnowing Wednesday. Okay, winnowing Wednesday. Let me know what that means. Sue Kessler Hagen says good morning. She says or fact finding Friday. Now there you go.
Okay,
I like that. Linda Lathan in the chat giving us a good morning. Good morning, First Sky fam in the house. That's what's up.
I'm in the house. How you doing, Paul? What's good with you, man?
Doing pretty all right, man. Definitely could have used a little more winks, like we said, but we usually say. But I'm up and feeling pretty good. Judy Printer says, "Wonderful Wednesday, fam." Appreciate that. Okay. Mama God giving us a good morning, so feeling good already, man. It's the first few minutes of just getting the hellos and how you doings in with the fam.
Man,
always wakes me up, makes me feel good. Plus, drunk ship.
There you go.
Never used to be a dude who depended on a cup of coffee every morning, but that's turning
into a cup of Joe guy.
I mean, I loved it, but I never, I wasn't that dude had to get up and have a cup before I can function. But it started to get like that a little bit.
Yeah, my stomach doesn't like coffee.
Ooh, yeah. I'd be in trouble if my stomach didn't like coffee.
Mm-mm.
For real, for real. Lots to talk about today. We have no guests coming in today, but we got plenty to talk about. We actually wanted to came up with a really good idea the other day about resources. You guys are doing a great job sending us resources to friends of First Sky Omaha, to First Sky Omaha at Gmail. All the ways that you can reach us, and we're getting so many resources on places that people can get food, assistance for the holidays for families, everything from places to live, housing, jobs as well. Shout out Paul Philman has been putting Raquel Henderson's Japanese to Jobby Jobs out
Yeah.
on Friends of. So I mean, tons of resources, and I love I love this idea of First Guy Omaha becoming a little bit of a resource center for those things too, because we're definitely going to talk about them and gather them, and we got a army of citizen journalists around here that's doing the work of sending us those resources. So we'll try to put them together, gather them in one spot, and maybe we can start working on that and kind of spreading the word. So. So yeah, definitely want to talk about some of those things today. Kimmer Snipes in the chat says winnowing is filtering through a bunch of information to determine what's pertinent.
Okay.
Man, that is your job title then right there. I like that. Winnowing Wednesday. Yeah. This thanks for that. Thanks for that education there. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Heather Williams says good morning, everyone. Good morning to you. Appreciate you coming in. Yeah, definitely lots to talk about today, and lots of community updates today too. I definitely kind of want to jump into them because they can kind of take up the day. Many things that's going on, but hopefully some good things. We always are trying to talk about good things. Of course, our partners over there at OEAAs who celebrate good things. They're having they're putting out their stuff now about the 20th annual Omaha Entertainment and Arts Awards. And really excited about this that's going on. It's gonna be at the Admiral, so kind of limited space. Definitely encourage you to get your tickets first. But the more that I'm meeting with them, the more that I'm talking about who's winning awards and lifetime achievement awards and all the stuff that's going on, just reiterates for me like how important the awards are, and for us to be able to recognize and celebrate all the local artists, musicians, and performers who we call Love Supreme Soldiers. So shout out to OEAAs getting down in a big way. Also, Salvation Army sign up. Shout out to Linda who brought this to my attention. There's a sign ups if you need some assistance for Christmas. Christmas assistance. Salvation Army has been doing this for a while. As you can see, they have zip codes and sign up locations for you to check out which days that you can sign up and get some assistance there starting in November. If you have any questions, please call 402-898-6031. Again, we'll put this in Friends of First Sky Omaha. We're trying to figure out how to put a section of Friends of where there can be some resources. So if you guys, first of all, if you have resources, let us know, put them in Friends of. And if you have any suggestions on how we can kind of centralize that information, let us know, because we're putting it together. We're actually, I'm thinking about putting a page on the website on firstsky.omaha.com. That is a place that we can go to just to be able to see all the resources in one spot. So the new idea, kind of working on that, but this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. We get this information and we want to put it out for people and let them know that it's readily available.
She says the signups are over.
Oh, signups are gone. Okay, I'm looking at the dates here. Oh yeah, the last one was November 12th. Okay, yeah, appreciate that. Thank you for the information there. And anybody else? I did see some other signups for another Christmas assistance program and also a Thanksgiving program as well. So let us know what that's coming up. Let us know what's going on there for you, and whether or not we need to assist some people there too. Part of my family doesn't even celebrate Thanksgiving, but we sure do take advantage of the food sale prices and the time off and the getting together to try to eat something with somebody and all that. So even if you're not with the Thanksgiving holiday, this is definitely something you need to check out as well. So this has been floating around, Friends of the Love Can Thanksgiving Pop-Up, Mr. Picnic, North Omaha Community Partnership, and Smoke and Barrel Barbecue. Thanksgiving Day, this is going down. So Thanksgiving Day is November 27th. From 1 to 6, you can get a complimentary warm meal and some community if you need that over at Matoya's Event Center.
Good for the soul.
It really is good for the soul. Matoya's Event Center is at 2525 North 37th Street, Omaha 68111. So definitely check that out if you need it as well. Also, in the zeitgeist out here, we've been talking about the six to dismiss. We have Michaela Danner, who's running for Douglas County Attorney, and that is the position held by Don Klein right now.
Klein.
So, yeah, she's doing a Friendsgiving on Thanksgiving Day at Johnny T's. So shout out to her, and shout out to Johnny T's for hosting some stuff too, man, which is pretty cool. Hosted by the Cigar Boys, Felicia Merritt, Alicia Luker, and Crystal Sprawling.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with those names, but I don't get out much. But shout out to Johnny T's doing the Friendsgiving over there, and let us know. We've been talking about Miss Michaela Danner. We'd like to know more about where she stands on some things. If you got more information on that, cool. If you hit some of these events and can talk to her, ask some questions. Bring her back to the show. Let us know what's going on. For sure. Also, Culture House has got some stuff going on, man. A dance battle over at Culture House, which I think is dope. Love that we can talk about our partners over there. The Color Outside the Lines concept battle. This is happening in December. So you got some time to get your moves together if you want to try to win that $500 cash prize. So get in there in the kitchen with your cousins and get the routine together. Concept battle is happening on December the 20th, and this is at 5:30 to 8:30. Event entry is $10, and there's some other information there if you want to check it out. Definitely check that out, and you can go to Culture House, of course, and find out what's happening there on their website. But yeah, $500 cash prize for an old school dance battle. I might have to dust off the shell toes.
Bring out the cardboard.
Bring out the cardboard. It's going down. Also, before we move on here, I just want to give a shout out to the Land Bank, who said this is the final reminder. Proposals are due by 5 today. If you've been working on a proposal for shovel ready effort, here's your chance. Today is 5 o'clock is the last part of that. If you plan to submit, now is the time. All materials must be received by the deadline. If you have any questions, please reach out to Daniel at info@omlb.org before you submit. So if you've been working on this, working on a submission for this to get some of the get down with being a partner over there, then definitely check them out and just a little update. It's due by 5 today. So more information on that, go to Omaha Municipal Land Bank and get some more information there. We got lots to talk about today, and there's some more stuff out there. I just want to give a big shout out to our brother Lavelle Wells, who's being recognized. Man, when I saw this, my heart was glad. At the Fred and Pamela Buffett Cancer Center, meet Lavelle Wells from Big Elk, research community scientist at the Fred and Pamela Buffett Center. Buffett Cancer Center. Lavelle is dedicated to making cancer care more accessible, inclusive, and community-centered. Did not even know my brother was doing this over there. He's already getting recognized. So shout out to Lavelle Wells for the work he's doing. He had some. He's definitely had some cancer in the family, like we all have, and it's touched him deeply. And he's out here doing the work and trying to bridge the gap with the communities as well. So shout out to him, man. He's enrolled in tribal member of the Omaha Nation and a passionate advocate for indigenous community. He says, my vision is to empower indigenous native communities around research, screenings, and to live a longer, more quality life.
Hey,
that's what's up. Shout out to our brother, Lavelle Wells. That's what's up, man.
As well.
Man, lots to talk about today. So I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here because we want to get into the thread of the day. But don't let me forget to talk about Beyond the Stigma.
Man, speaking of health as well, that's actually where my mind is. Definitely wanted to talk about that. So, yeah. Shout out to Johnny No Good, brother Tyler Payne, brother Jakeem Fox, all the brothers that was out there. Apparently, they had a retreat for the brothers.
Yeah.
So, man, shout out to Jakeem Fox. He actually shared a pretty heartfelt post. We'll be sharing a little later on. But yeah, man, mental health. I mean, health is wealth. Shout out to, of course, we talked about it in recent episodes, the study from former Senator Justin Wayne about PTSD in the hood.
Yeah.
And again, North Omaha being compared to a war zone. And again, spaces and places is the theme of this season. Johnny No Good offering a space and place where you can, kind of decompress, get some mental health assistance. And you don't got to have a case, man. Of course, we talked about that on Monday with some of the mental health, the lack of mental health resources that are out there, especially for those who aren't in the criminal justice system. Might just need some help. Might just need somebody to talk to. So again, we'll be talking about that little later on. Also, in other news, Sister Kimra Snipe already kind of teed it up, talking about, of course, the situation with the OPS board trying to feed the babies. Still a lot more questions than answers going out there, but I like where the conversation is going. Shout out to anybody that was able to make it to the board meeting earlier this week. I would definitely love to hear your take if you were able to go. And of course, hear from you, Sister Kimra, as our resident board member here on the show. Again, chat chimer, frequent fam. Let us know. What's your take? What's your response? There's some confusion. So kind of what's the pushback from the board? Why all the commotion, if you will? So again, I'd love to hear your take on that situation and just as a community figure out how to feed the babies, man, because things are getting rough out there, man. It seems like just about everybody's going broke, man. Actually, things are looking like they might be getting worse as OPS is actually going to be possibly raising the property taxes. Yeah, we'll be talking about that as far as the financial side of what's going on in OPS. Again, it's more than just trying to feed babies, man. Possibly trying to keep the doors open, especially as the Trump administration is planning to stop or dismantle the Department of Education. What is going on with education in this nation in general? We'll definitely talk about that. Even UNL having its own controversy. So again, education in the community, definitely going to be talking about that today, and communication as well. Some big news in the NPR Corporation for Public Broadcasting situation. Again, there was some funding that was taken away, and it looks like it might be on the way back. So again, we'll definitely talk about that. There've been a lot of eyes and a lot of effort in supporting NPR or PBS and figure out what's going on with, again, public broadcasting, especially with education being undermined. How are we going to communicate? How are we going to learn? How are we going to figure out what's really going on if there's, again, lack of education and the information, the media outlets are being undermined as well? Where do you really learn? Again, the documentaries, so much comes out of PBS and NPR about our nation and the world around us. Again, we'll be talking about that and more throughout the next couple of hours. If there's anything that we're not talking about, missing the mark on, or just don't know about, feel free to drop that into the chat. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. About 15 minutes into this thing, Paul B.
Yo.
Say you.
Man, just want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat. Anthony Rogers Wright says, peace and good morning from Beeee. Even in Brazil, we can see how OPPD is about to screw North Omaha.
Man.
Keeping track of things. I appreciate that. Also, Kara Warner's in the chat saying, happy Wednesday, everyone. I appreciate your post. We're definitely going to jump in and talk about the wonderful opportunity here that's coming up with the Youth Poet Laureate situation. So we saw your post, and I really appreciate that. We'll definitely talk about that after the break as well. And also in the chat, Anthony Rogers Wright says, please announce that M4BL will be the first Black-led national organization to embark on a community care hub initiative in Omaha. I will definitely need some more information on that for sure. He says our focus will include the requisite interventions for the vacuum of environmental justice and alternative electoral politics in Omaha. More soon, and the influence commences in February of 2026. Sounds good. Have to get down with that. That's what's happening. Brother Pena is in the chat saying, Buenos dias. Good morning to you as well. Appreciate you. Also, Mama God said, not the cardboard, Paul B. I'm good for some nostalgia.
Hey.
Yeah, y'all don't know about that cardboard. Well, don't let somebody buy a refrigerator in the hood and come and knocking on the door. Can we get that cardboard? For those you don't know, break dancers used to lay out cardboard because it's easier to spin on. So I'd be talking like everybody knows that. Kimber Snipe says, first step in getting the facts. I've been on my social media continuously spreading the facts. Yep, you've been doing really good on that. Shout out to you. You're definitely one of the strategic communicators, the news gang soldiers on there spreading the good news and the facts. I appreciate that very much. She's also said, shout out to the people who picked up a phone to reach out to me and ask about the facts. Leo Lewis. Oh, okay. Michaela Atkins and a small few others. Yeah, that's always a good idea. Find out what's going on inside the school board with the whatever the controversy is. And yes, that's always the best move. Pick up the phone and ask somebody who is involved directly. I love that. So yeah, appreciate that sentiment. We'll definitely get into it. We'll go ahead and take a break. I'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more, jump back into the chat too and talk a little bit more about your comments and get on to some of these subjects. So 7:19 right now, if you believe in the concept of time, We'll take a short break and come right back and jump into it. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddy to God. Stay tuned, y'all. We'll be right back. Welcome back for Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'm Paul B. He's Buddy to God. Check you out. You are the chat chimers. We appreciate you guys coming in with your comments this morning. Do us a favor, share the show on your page if you're on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, do us a favor and share the link to anybody who you think might want to have this conversation with us and can have something to add and join in. Join the conversation. As you just saw, we have another edition of the Lanes of Change that's out right now on the YouTube channel. Highly encourage you to go over there and check this out. This is a really good one. I really was entertained. I sat and watched it with a few people after we got it all done, and it was just like, yeah, this is this is dope. So shout out to Chris Baby Boy Bowling, who we talked in. Shout out to Sherman Wells, who was also featured in this video. Shout out to all the work you did over there on the Buddy. Appreciate you.
What's that?
Lanes of Change, Elements of Revolution. The third installment is up now on YouTube. Definitely check it out. Strategic communication is what we're talking about.
Yeah, man.
Yep. So with that, we're going to go ahead and jump into the discussion today. Some stories. What's first on the agenda, buddy? What's happening?
Yeah, kind of going along with the thread or the trend, I guess you can call it, of starting with the affirmative. I want to start with this Beyond the Stigma. It's not really even a story, which again is, one thing I appreciate about this platform is, sometimes there's things that won't be stories to the mainstream media, but are wholeheartedly stories to us, to the community, to the people. And that's really what I want to talk about is community, man. Again, shout out to Brother Johnny No Good for creating a community, especially for Black men. Again, we've been talking about this Beyond the Stigma group, which meets at Assembly of the Saints. Again, it's a group of actually, Paul, have you been there before? Did you go?
Yeah, I've been to one of the special meetings that they had offsite. And then I went to one of the ones at Assembly of the Saints. It's definitely one of those things, man. Like I already knew it was up my alley just to be able to have a place where men can get together and express themselves. And like you said, without having a charge, some preventative conversations. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Get to decompress before you snap. You know what I mean? Because again, there's a lot of situations locally where for the youth or just in general for families, for anybody really seeking mental health or mental help, it seems like you have to have a case. You have to, be involved with the criminal justice system before getting the help that you need. So yes, definitely preventative, like you said. Just reading from Brother Joaquin's post, who shared some pictures and videos from the trip, because again they had a retreat recently. He says, I had my mother pick me up after returning from this retreat, and while we were driving, I explained what I had just experienced. She told me that she had actually been searching for some kind of resource for me because she had noticed how depressed I was. She said she was proud I found something. Joaquin goes on to say, Beyond the Stigma is more than a group, more than a brotherhood. It's a life-saving entity for Black men who understand that there's more to life than just survival. Black men deserve to live long, healthy lives. Black men deserve forgiveness for not understanding how vital they are to our community. Black men deserve retreat and respite from expectation and responsibility. Black men deserve. So thankful for brotherhood that shares art, music, wisdom, resources, encouragement, and space. What a wonderful thing that has been created, and I can't wait to have you join us, Black man. So again, shout out to Brother Joaquin Fox, Brother Johnny No Good for putting it together, and all the brothers who support it, who come through. Yeah, man. Especially with a lot of things that we talk about. We've been talking about mutual aid here recently in the last few weeks, and without community, without brotherhood, sisterhood, without us loving on each other, the mutual aid is going to be a lot harder. Actually, virtually impossible. It's through that community, through that brotherhood, sisterhood, um, neighborhood, if you will, that mutual aid is possible, man. So big shout out to brother Johnny No Good. Spaces and places is the theme of this season, and that's what it's all about, man. That's definitely a space and place that we would like to see uh continue to flourish.
And their next one is November 29th at Assembly of the Saints from 3 to 5. Definitely check it out. When I went, there was all ages there. There was some very young men there, 11, 12 years old, telling their stories. You can imagine having a story at 11 or 12 that is as compelling as any of the men in the room.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then of course, older folks and all in between. So all ages.
Yeah. One thing I will say is every time I see that picture, it looks like the group gets bigger, man. So I love, I love the growth, man. So big shout out to Johnny No Good, everybody that's going. And again, Paul mentioned resources earlier in the show. That is an effort that we're going into, trying again to collect resources. And I've been saying turn it from a moment to a movement. And a lot of people, of course, responding to the SNAP situation. And Nebraska has since restarted partial SNAP payments. Only I think about 65% of full payments being sent out. But again, people still struggling, and we'll be talking about it, but things are going to get harder here pretty soon. So
yeah. Most definitely. I appreciate everybody who is in the chat who's participated in this too. I think we usually have some chat chimers or some ghost listeners that have been to some of these Beyond the Stigma meetings. And shout out to Joaquin Fox. Highly suggest you go to his page and read that for yourself and take a look at some of those videos and pictures that he posted. Because they're very powerful. So shout out to them. Shout out to everybody who is behind this. And you just gave me an idea. We were talking about gathering resources, and I mentioned food resources, housing resources, job resources. Need to throw some of that mental health resources on there as well.
Big time. Big time.
Appreciate that. Let's go ahead and move on to the next subject. I'm seeing Brother Pena. I'm trying to sift through some of the stuff that you're talking about today. And I appreciate you. I can see you talking about Black Panther started the program. Talking about food for kids. You seem very passionate about that. We will definitely get to that story and come back to you. Also, Kimmer in the chat earlier, I missed. She said, shout out to the people who, oh, no, we said that already. She said, we found out about this funding before last Wednesday. You better believe that. We're working with the school accountants to figure out the forecasting. I'm on the budget committee. We'll definitely got to talk about this. So I'm so glad we have you as a resource in here on this one.
Yeah, man. Actually, Guillermo and Kimra both talking about those things, so we can go ahead and pivot into that. Kind of the big news, really, in the community. A lot of commotion, a lot of conversation, a lot of attention, energy being pointed towards this, and reasonably so. I mean, at the heart of it, of course, we spoke with board member Beeee.
Mm-hmm.
Was that Monday or last Friday?
Last Friday. You're asking me about a date? I don't remember.
Man, time.
What year are we?
Recently we spoke to her and she again gave us her take on it as far as her proposal to as Guillermo is saying in the chat, feed the kids. She's specifically talking about school lunch debt and trying to push a proposal to not only cover school lunch debt but to push for free lunch across the board for all students, which has been the case, to her point, over the last few years. But apparently in the last school year, OPS did not qualify for the CEP, or the Community Eligibility Program, which again is the program that allows all students across OPS, again district-wide, to be fed for free. Now, as it is currently going, apparently some schools do qualify for the CEP, which again is based on how many families or students, again, according to Beeee, how many families or students qualify for free or reduced lunch and SNAP benefits. Again, if a certain percentage of students apparently qualifies for government aid, then the whole school qualifies for a free program or free lunch. And again, that is apparently, according to the Omaha World Herald article, the case for some schools in OPS, while OPS as a district has joined the National School Lunch Program, which requires families to apply to receive free or reduced lunch. While breakfast is free for all students, again, breakfast is free for all students. Lunch apparently costs $2.50 or 50 cents for elementary students, and $2.85 for secondary students. And again, for families that have 2, 3, 4 students going to school, that could easily be $10 a day, which $50 a week. You start doing the math, that's close to a couple $100 a month just on school lunch, not to mention groceries at home. So again, it could definitely be something that's expensive, especially with what Brief Fool is talking about as far as families struggling right now. Of course, SNAP benefits have been restored, but we didn't really get into it. But this government open is kind of temporary. Again, all these negotiations and budget, you know, confirmations will have to happen again on January 30th. So, yeah, who's to say what's going to happen in the next couple of months as far as SNAP goes or government shutdowns? Of course, we all know what's about to happen as far as the health side of things. Again, people's premiums going through the roof. And that's just one element. Of course, Sister Kimmer talking about the budget here in a second. Again, it's being reported by KMTV7 that property taxes might have to go up due to a miscalculation in state aid for OPS. So again, even more going up. But Sister Kimmer is in the chat. A few other chat chimers giving their take on it. Paul, I know you have some thoughts. So yeah, we'll say you.
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts are exactly where Kimmer's at. Somebody talk. First of all, watch the school board meeting. Shout out to Miss Cheryl Weston who did some promoting of that as well. But also the fact that you can just watch the school board meeting if you don't show up to it. Definitely check it out. See what everybody's talking about in the chat. She says, and as board members, we all asked the questions that we needed to ask, all of us. So the conversation is happening, and we can speak right to the board members about what's going on there. Also, her saying that she's on the finance committee here is going to be able to give us some answers on that. So that leaves me with not a whole lot to say, but a whole lot to ask. So shout out to Kimber Snipes who can give us some answers. Shout out to Brief Fool too, who took the time to come on the show and talk about it. And as this thing heats up, it sounds like we need to have Kimmer on and have some more discussion too. And but first and foremost, just be interested, be involved, let's pay attention. Let's go to the board meetings, or look or watch the board meetings. Shout out to Bree Fool, who's posted moments of her what she had to say on her social media as well. That really drew of people in to be interested in the subject. But let's figure it out, because I think when I'm hearing this story, I'm hearing OPS has got plenty of money. They're turning money down over here, but not enough money to feed kids. Not we teachers are complaining, and the board is struggling. The board is always asking questions and trying to make things better and fight. And there's people that are inside the board that don't agree with other people in the board, and then it kind of results in like the property taxes are already crazy, and now they might go up, so it might cost us money on top. There's a lot here, and as Kimmer always brings out, the board, the OPS is almost an entity, it's like a little city already. The budget's huge. It entails many of our neighborhoods, our streets, the majority of kids in the city are in OPS. It's mostly our kids, so it's not anything we can push to the side. We got to dig deep on it for sure.
Yeah. You want to go to the chat? The chat's pretty much going off. Guillermo and Kimmer going back and forth. I see Michael Young.
Yeah, go ahead, pull out. I wasn't looking right now while I was talking. So if there's something that stuck out to you, let me know.
Yeah. First of all, Kimmer, if there's some false information being put out, definitely let us know. She says, I can't shout out people for posting false information. The narrative is not about agreement, it's about facts. So apparently there's some facts not getting correct, but again, let us know. To imply that Kimmer would not back this is false. Y'all know Kimmer. That is kind of my confusion. And that was Christy Norris saying that in the chat. She says to imply that Kimmer would not back this is false. Y'all know Kimmer. And that's kind of the confusion, because I know not only Sister Kimmer, but I know Jane Erdenberger, who's a beloved teacher from North when I went there. And I can't imagine that they wouldn't support feeding families, feeding kids, but again, What is the pushback? According to the article by the Omaha World Herald, board president Erdenberger is saying that there are some issues with how this is being brought up altogether, saying that it's not has not been pushed through the proper channels to actually get some legislation or to get some policy changes made. Kind of confused.
Yeah, and to clear some things up, my confusion isn't who don't want to feed kids like Bree Full is saying. That it's not that cut and dry for me because yeah, like Chrissy Norris saying, of course everybody wants to feed the kids. So yeah, the confusion does have to do with what Bree Full came on the show. She brought some stuff up, and now just like par for the course, we need to hear all sides. We need to, have some more conversation about it. We need to talk more about it with her and then with everybody else. Mm-hmm. And I didn't at one point think to myself like, well, why isn't Kimmer back in Bree? Like that wasn't even part of this. I think now that I'm thinking about it, kind of assumed that you guys was on the same page, and there were some other folks on the board that I didn't know that was opposing this particular thing. But I also didn't think the confusion didn't come from me thinking it was that black and white. Like there's some confusion on the consensus on what needs to happen, and maybe there's some disagreement on how it gets done. But I never really thought anybody on the board don't want to feed the kids. I mean that can't be that wasn't. I don't think that's where the confusion coming from. I think it's coming from how things need to get done. So not quite sure. Kimmer, you heated. What's going on? She says, she said wasn't even looking at some of the chat. Okay. Yeah, definitely want to hear the facts. And again, this is First Sky Omaha. You the chat chimer. The benefit of the doubt goes to you. So none of this was us trying to think that you don't want to feed the kids and you're opposing anybody who wants to do that. I'm just thinking the how is kind of where I was trying to figure out, like, maybe we're not figuring out how to get this done. So yeah, appreciate that. Anybody, I'm not sure if you guys are on. I'm seeing most of the chat on YouTube. Definitely check it out. If you're on Facebook, you're kind of missing some of the chat. So definitely check that out. I think the chat is happening more on YouTube today than it is on Facebook. Although Michael Young on Facebook, good morning. He says, there's a huge disconnect in legislature funding and results. All poverty is real. White, brown, black, urban, rural. Why the states won't align drives me insane. It's time we fix property taxes at the state level and fulfill the mission of the public schools and properly fund them across the board. Great conversation. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Let's add that element to the conversation as we continue, because I am trying to figure out what is the issue. I don't think the issue is the willingness of board members to feed the children. I don't think that is the issue. And I am questioning, where the lack of communication. It does seem like there's a breakdown in communication between the board. This per Bree Full, it seems like this is something that she's been trying to raise awareness about and feels like she has not been heard or that has fallen on deaf ears, which is why this issue has been publicized the way it has. Again, Kimra is saying that it's not SNAP, it's not what are the facts? My question is, are children starving, and what is the financial side of OPS? Again, per this article from KETV or KMTV channel 7, or excuse me, KETV channel 7, reporter Beth Carlson reports that Omaha Public Schools and the Nebraska Department of Education, per Michael Young's comment, apparently have a miscalculation in state aid formula. There's apparently an error that sent a surplus of $30.5 million to OPS, more than they needed. And now the Department of Education is saying that they will subtract that amount from next year's aid. The result of that will be a possible rise in the tax levy for OPS, who says that they will likely need to raise the tax levy, which will result in raise in property taxes to make up for it. So again, and the amount likely will not be known for a while, as the budget process typically occurs during the summer. Again, Kimra, you say you're part of the budget committee for OPS, so maybe you can give us more insight on what's going on with this situation. But again, also, if you are anyone listening, if you are a family who has a child in OPS, apparently families received a letter. Did you get this letter? What is your understanding of what's going on? Do you have more questions on what's going on? Again, OPS said the district was notified of the calculation error earlier this month, back in November 6th. So it was a few weeks ago, or about a week ago, where this was made clear. But again, where is the future going, and how does this impact, the school ability to feed and do other things, pay teachers? What does this mean?
There you go. Cameron, if you're willing, maybe we can have you on Friday and we can talk about it. You've already started talking about it. Karen Warner says, I listened to Kimmer's live yesterday and I implore everyone to listen. She's explained what some of the issues are. So some of the explanation is right there on Kimmer's page for you to kind of check out there too. And I appreciate you, taking that time to go live and talk about it. So that's what's up. Chrissy Norris says, my first piece of legislation will be free lunches for all Nebraska public schools. Shout out. This is the first, this is what I started thinking. As soon as I started thinking, this is what Kimmer said. The best calculation and state formula is a separate issue than the resolution about food. So that's the other thing too. Like we're naturally mixing in this idea that the finances is the reason why the resolution about food is part of this, but these are two separate matters. So I shout out to Kimmer. I appreciate you bringing that to our attention as well. We'll definitely get into it more. Also, I'm looking. I'm just kind of going through the chat here. There's a lot going on in the chat. I appreciate it, Kimmer. This is why we're doing this, so you can so we can hear from you. So we appreciate that. If you want to come on Friday, let's definitely get into it more and talk about it. But yeah, no, okay. Nobody's putting your character on blast. I'm hoping nobody is. If that's what I didn't look through all of the chat here, but if that's what's happening, yeah, let's shut that down right now. We all Kimmer's character is proven, so this is absolutely a lack of information on our and everybody else's part if we're not understanding the situation completely, especially if we're not sitting in the board meetings in the first place, listening and finding out what's going on or calling anybody directly on it. So as you know, we don't do news in the same way that mainstream does news. We had Brianna Full on. That was the beginning of the conversation with this issue here, since she was the one that was bringing up the resolution. And we had fully intended to continue the conversation on this. So again, Kimmer, if you'd love to come on Friday, I'd love to get to the next level on that too. And anybody else that would like to come on from the school board to talk more about this as well, and brief fullback if that's what we need to do. So whatever's going on here, we'd like to get down to the bottom of it, because it's just like Buddy's saying, it sounds like a communication issue. Because everybody involved loves the kids and wants to be able to take care of what needs to happen there. So let's continue the conversation with the players involved, and we'll go from there. With that, it is 7:42 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we can go back in and do this the whole show, but we got some more things we want to bring out and talk about. We got to get to it. So we'll take a quick break and we'll come back and jump into the conversation. Shout out to Stephen Abraham. I did see you post something a little earlier. Appreciate you coming in this morning as well. You always come in with some great pieces here. Marlon Harris in the chat said, let's talk. Also remember that OPS school board is an elected volunteer, so nobody gets paid while being on the board. It's definitely something to remember. So yeah, I appreciate that very much. We'll come back and jump into more of this and other things that we need to talk about today too after the break. Stay tuned for Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy the Gawd. We're going in today. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back for Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddy the Gawd.
Hey.
Man, a lot of times when you're in a conversation, stuff gets heated. Sometimes you got to take a step outside.
Man.
You know, a lot of the
For
people
sure.
who smoke, that's what they do. They do it for. Take a cigarette break, go outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, or whatever kind of break you take. We call it smelling the coffee beans because when you're, if I don't know if you've been to any of these kind of like high end department stores where and go buy cologne and perfume and stuff like that, but they always have this little dish of coffee beans sitting down on the counter.
Man.
And in order to reset your smell after you've smelled the scent, you hit those coffee beans. That takes you back to baseline, and then you can smell something else without the last thing seeping in. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I just sometimes we'd be saying stuff on the show, and I'd be like, I bet you the people that are just like the new people that are coming in checking us out, I was like, what are they talking about? Smelling the coffee beans. But anyway, yeah, that's why we took a little break from that. Another part of taking a break from that too is to come back in and talk about a little bit of something that is very positive. Shout out to Kara Warner who put this out on her page. But we got some big news going on here with, she says she's absolutely thrilled and deeply honored to announce that the Nebraska Writers Collective, shout out to Nebraska Writers Collective, is officially hosting the 10th National Youth Poet Laureate commencement. And for the first time in history, this nationally celebrated event is coming to Omaha. So shout out to Nebraska Writers Collective, man. I don't know how you guys pull this off, but this is really amazing. It's not just exciting; it's historic. She says, "What is National Youth Poet Laureate?" She says the National Youth Poet Laureate program created by Urban World NYC is the nation's premier platform for young poets who are shaping the culture through creativity, leadership, and social commitment. Each year, extraordinary teen writers from across the country rise as a city and regional laureates, and one singular voice becomes the National Youth Poet Laureate. That's what's up. We all remember Amanda Gorman, who was there's a picture of her right there on the left speaking at the presidential campaign, the inauguration. Mm-hmm. That was a powerful moment. We were in love with her when she got up and did that, and we just thought, man, like it was so inspiring to see a young person up there speaking that way. This is that program, and it's coming to Nebraska, so this is really, really dope. And I can't wait to get some more information on this. See how we can show up, back it. It's just real cool. Like when there's something going on like this, that's really kind of bringing a positive, shining a positive light on Nebraska, on Omaha, on organizations that we have been a part of and partnered with in the past. Nebraska Writers Collective. There's fam that's been associated with that. So the fact that this is happening on this national level, super, super huge. Thank you, Kara Warner, for bringing this out, bringing it to our attention. We put it on Friends of First Sky Omaha. So yeah, if you got any more information on that, love to hear about that. And just kind of good news. It's good news. I'll say that. Poet community.
I mean, it's par for the course, and it's right along with everything really we're talking about now and been talking about on the show. Even the lanes of change is some straight up artistic resistance. Love supreme warriorship, because the backside of the Nebraska Writers Collective and a lot of the poetry efforts is to raise literacy rates. And again, going back to the conversation we're having about education, that's what it's all about. It's all about, again, encouraging people to read, encouraging people to write, encouraging people to raise their comprehension levels, to express themselves creatively through writing, through poetry specifically. But again, it's connected to literacy. And we talk about crime, we talk about poverty, we talk about what goes on in the community. And you have to know that literacy rates is a direct determinant to that. We talk about the preschool to prison pipeline last episode on Monday. And again, per our conversation with brother Umar, Dr. Umar Ifaitunde, don't call him Johnson. He let us know, and that's a statistic that always stuck with me. Again, as a psychologist in Philadelphia, where he worked, he realized third grade was the mark. If somebody is not at reading level by third grade, the likelihood of them going to prison grows exponentially. So again, it's just a love supreme warrior, battle that's being fought as far as trying to encourage our youth to be poets, to read, to get their literacy rates up, man. It's all there, and we need it. We need it. We need Kimra, we need Beeee, we need these powerhouses in the community to push education, because it's in shambles right now.
Man,
it's in shambles.
While we're at it, shout out to Jewel Rogers.
Yeah.
Recipient of the Love Supreme Award from First Sky Omaha, doing the good work. Part of her work that she does is traveling around to the youth, and doing her poetry, and more than that, it says she seems so much more than a poet to me. She's not, not that that's a small thing, but she's a poet. But she's also, you can be a poet. You can sit at your house and write some poetry. She's out in the community showing young people what's up, pushing literacy, all the other things as well. Using her position as state poet to really highlight this. So this is kind of the year of the poetry, man. It might be the time for Verbal Gumbo to come back too. We'll see what's happening. But shout out to everyone. Yeah, man. And you know what? We were talking about Beyond the Stigma. I know Johnny No Good as a poet first.
MC,
straight up poet, MC. And he's using his art like a soldier and bringing men together to have some discussion and to tackle mental health with his talents. So I'm truly excited about this for sure.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, she said absolutely. Wells Lavelle is one of our teaching artists who's been assigned to go into the prisons throughout the state of Nebraska to facilitate writing workshops. We call this program Writer's Block.
That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. Man, I love. Thank you for that, Sister Kara. That's dope.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, that's that we were in the prisons teaching citizen journalism, like same energy. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, this is super dope, man. Shout out to Val Wells, man, in the news again today on the show. Like,
man, our
brother's doing the thing. Shout out to him, man. It's what's up. Really appreciate the work that he does for sure, man. Bridging the indigenous population here with the Black community and everything else he's doing, man. Utilizing his position for good in a big way. Shout out to him. Yeah.
More shout out. Yep, Sister Karen in the chat saying shout out to Joel Rogers. Noni Williams, not familiar. Definitely familiar with my brother Lightpole, man. Shout out to him and many others who support this work. Yeah, man. Yeah. Way of Life Warlow. Yep.
Man. Supposed to have him on the show too.
Yeah, Lincoln fan.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely dig in. There's a serious community here for it. And it's as you can see, it's definitely tied to this literacy situation. Heather Williams says reading is fundamental. Starts at home. I read because my mom did. My kids read because I do. I heard that.
Yeah, I mean, now that I think about it, well, first of all, I'm a poet. Let's just start there. Let's just start there. For those who know how I get down, I'm a poet. And I probably would not be a poet if it wasn't for Mama Gawd in the chat, making sure I had a library at a young age and seeing her also be a poet. So Heather Williams, I definitely second that sentiment as far as just starting young, starting at home, and just how having a love for reading really changes your life.
There you go. Mama Gawd said the Grands visit for 6 weeks in the summer, and we live in the library along with Do Space Camp. Well, wait till you see this. Wait till you can go downtown for that one.
Man,
she says reading is fundamental to learning and expanding the mind and voice. And this answers something that you asked earlier, like what's going on with education? What do we do if it's dwindling here and there? The first thing that popped in my mind when you said it was we got to take care of some of this education at home, if at all possible.
Man, I mean,
home first, bro.
It's going to have to be. Actually, we got 7 minutes left in the first hour. You want to get into this next story because it's not just OPS that's, having to answer. Shout out again to Sister Camera, who's letting us know that they're trying to figure those things out right now as far as how to make sure families aren't struggling to feed, and dealing with the pressures of school lunch debt. And figuring out, there's even at the state level conversations about funding for public schools and things like that. But also the college level, again, what's going on? A lot of questions happening. Actually, something that has never happened in the history of UNL just took place. The Nebraska Examiner is reporting that the UNL faculty has an overwhelmingly passed a historic no confidence vote against a chancellor who is apparently trying to cut programs. Brother Chancellor Rodney Bennett, who has been a chancellor at UNL since 2023, proposed a plan to reduce about $27 million in UNL's budget, which resulted in the cutting of 4 programs, particularly Earth and Atmospheric Sciences, Statistics, Educational Administration, which is quite interesting, Textiles, Merchandising, and Fashion Design. So, again, these 4 programs are on the chopping block as a part of Brother Bennett's plan. And it seems like, again, the faculty isn't having it. The faculty has, again, issued a overwhelmingly lopsided, I guess you could say, no confidence vote, which means that now this vote goes to the regency, the regents of UNL, to decide whether or not to fire, Brother Bennett.
Would you repeat those the areas that he's trying, the programs he's trying to?
Yeah. Earth and atmospheric sciences, statistics, educational administration, and textiles, merchandising, and fashion design.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
Why is it interesting to you?
Well, I'm because we got approached with this story by acknowledging the school's going broke. So they got to figure out where they go, where they're trying to figure out how to deal with the school going broke. And I don't know why the school's going broke, but I can't help but think it has something to do with the current administration that we're in right now and the attack on education. But for whatever reason, this is different than like when we hear the current administration trying to cut programs, and what programs they're trying to cut. This is what we've been reporting on like for months now. Like, it's absolutely DEI programs. It's absolutely programs that help poor people. Like, they're doing this because they're being racist, and we've been talking about this forever, ever. But this brother is cutting it. I feel like has made some strategic moves here to figure out which things could be cut, or like I said, if he's chancellor, he's got to make some kind of decisions on how to shift this money around.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm interested in knowing who's trying to vote no confidence because they didn't like his choices, or if there was other ideas out there on how to save some money. There's a lot of questions I got here, but I just think it's interesting, and I'm kind of starting with that. Like, which things is he trying to cut that rile people up enough to not have no confidence in them?
Man,
know that.
Well, to answer that question, later in the article, it is acknowledged as far as the symbolism behind the vote, and not necessarily being about Bennett himself. Corey Ruman, who's a professor of education administration, again, one of the programs that is being cut, so keep that in mind, said the symbolic vote Tuesday was not solely meant to influence Bennett's contracts or whether he should resign. Ruman said it shows faculty will not stand by and let administrators determine UNL's future without them. Apparently, this was a unilateral decision to cut these programs without, again, confronting or talking to or consulting with the faculty, the students of those programs. Again, a vote of no confidence is not just about one person. It's about a systemic failure at the administrative level that have led to decisions being made that are not in the best interest of this institution or the state of Nebraska. Again, a committee of faculty, staff, and students also issued a letter on October 24th. A majority of members split from him on key academic cuts that he continues to pursue. The letter said the short time frame cuts were announced September 12th and finalized November 10th. So they're pushing these things through, which again, that time frame, September to November, also does align with the government shutdown, to your point, Paul, which we've seen, again, a lot of, budgets being undercut, a lot of programs being cut. It could be aligning with that. So again, this is definitely a issue of the people per se, the faculty, the staff, the students speaking up about some things that they're not happy with at the leadership level. But again, to your point, Paul, it's all pointing towards the Trump administration in my eyes. Again,
I need more information before I can start calling that out.
Okay.
This is my first understanding about anything. I don't even know who got the power to make these kinds of changes. Is because I can easily go, is this a pushback on this leader, this chancellor, making decisions that he's within his power to make. You know what I'm saying? I don't have enough information. Not really sure. But what I'm walking away with this from is that this, knowing that this is happening, and knowing even some of the regents that are going to end up making this decision, on this vote, whether or not he keeps his job here, and then whether or not he keeps his job is part of the story. The other part of the story is what are they going to do then if there's a bunch of cuts in school? What's happening if they're losing money? I mean, there's too many variables, too many things to ask on this one, and I'm trying to bear down on like how this what does this do? What is this? How is this affecting education for us in our state? What does this mean? What happens if the programs that he's suggesting does not get cut? Where do they get the money from? What other programs will be cut if not these? And if it's not just about the cuts, if it's about who has a say, then I need to know who's in charge, who's the person, who's the people that can make these decisions. Yeah, I mean, brings up more questions for me.
You've called it out. Ultimately, the decision will go to the regents, the board of regents of UNL to make that decision. Also, it is definitely connected to some of the things that are happening above the education. Senator Terrell McKinney in the chat. Good morning. He says the state cut the university budget. It's Pillen, not Trump. But I would kind of push back on that because we're seeing a lot of the moves that Pillen is making is to kiss up to Trump. Let's just call it what it is.
The Trump effect, yeah.
Exactly. It's the Trump effect. Pillen knows that the Trump administration is going in a certain direction, and he's not taking the cue from he's not waiting on Trump to say he's going along with the good old grand old party agenda, which we've been calling it. He's following orders.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Senator McKinney, because I want to know that first. What is the state cut the university's budget? Why? What were the cuts? You know what I'm saying? Like I need to know that first. I need to have that context before I find out why this chancellor decided to do what he did.
Well, I'm so glad we have partners in the media space. Shout out to our good friends over at Flatwater Free Press, Chris Baby Boy Bolin, Natalia Alamdari, and the crew. They've actually had a series on what's going on at the University of Nebraska called The New Era, NU Era, and an article in particular that they released on October 22nd. Just recently talks about that. It says the headline reads, the University of Nebraska long banked on state funding. That support is crumbling. Apparently earlier this year, less than asked for state appropriation led the NU Board of Regents to adopt $20 million in cuts across the system. The University of Nebraska-Lincoln faces another $27.5 million in cuts to try to pull itself out of a year-long structural deficit. So again, it's about the funding of schools in the state of Nebraska. All the while, the state is building more prisons. Like, come on, man. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Follow the money. And it's quite interesting how spaces in places leads to following the money. Like we get to this point and trying to build the space in place that we want to build. Like, okay, where's the money going? Like, where's the energy, the money going to do that?
Yeah. It's no coincidence that when we started naming these seasons, we were talking about spaces and places, and it naturally led us to follow the money, which starts up January 15th, by the way. I also put the link to this article in the chat. Shout out to Flatwater Free Press. You definitely need to check out the New Era. Get some more information there. Deep dive. Again, Flatwater Free Press is really positioning themselves as the deep dive journalism, investigative journalism, which is the toughest and most expensive kind, and it's so sorely needed. It's crazy, but definitely check them out. Check that article out and get deeper into some of this stuff too. So anybody that's interested in these things, a lot more information than we need out here on this. So I appreciate it. RG in the chat, good morning, says, I know a whole bunch of math and English and computer science graduates. I only know one fashion graduate.
That was definitely a thought when I saw those programs. Like, those are kind of...
This is the first time I ever even thought of UNO as having a fashion program.
Really?
Yeah. I know Metropolitan Community College does. I like I said, on my radar. Ariel's 402 in the chat earlier said, was the previous cuts discussed by those faculty and students prior to these current cuts? What were the cuts they were talking about before? Exactly. Yeah. Michael Young in the chat says, I agree. It's a university to get degrees, not just W's for sports. The more we focus on sports, I'll say it, the less academics are paramount. My opinion, and realistically, the outcomes speak for themselves. In comment. Yeah. RG says, I mean, as someone who on 2 different occasions attended UNL, my guess is these programs on the chopping block have consistently low enrollment. Yeah, I mean, people, we're speculating on the reasons why he did what he did, but again, you brought it to our attention that the point for them was not so much the choices that he made, but that he made it without consulting
Right.
the people according to them.
Right.
I didn't have a discussion about it, but again, the buck is going to stop where the person in power needs to go ahead and make that decision. So again, is he within his realm to do that? There's two. Go ahead.
I think the overall point of this conversation is the state is investing in slavery, i.e. prisons, and we're going broke as a result. The state is going broke, and this is just a symptom of it.
Interesting. RG got another thing. He says, and the funny thing is the fashion program is housed on the East Campus, which is the agricultural campus. You guys are killing me. Linda in the chat said, interesting. So like they're thinking we are voting like, hey guys, we don't need ice cream weekly. Let's cut back to once a month. But then they saw their program being voted on to the cut because I'd like to, she says, I'd be like, whoever called this meeting can be fired. Sign here if you agree, y'all.
Yeah, but I think the part of that is everybody agreed. Again, this is an overwhelmingly first time in the school's history that there is a no confidence vote.
Right. There you go. Also, Kimmer in the chat says, let's not forget the corporate tax cuts that are feeding into this as well. Lots of factors. Shout out Katie Rain, who's up early with us this morning.
Yeah.
The money definitely needs to be followed. The money definitely needs to be followed because how do you build all this infrastructure and support the program, then cut the program? They definitely have a fashion program. Okay, there's somebody in the world letting us know. Say again.
I said she would know. Yeah, as a model.
Yeah, definitely somebody in the fashion world is letting us know about the program there. And like I said, it's first thing on my radar. It's just the last thing I think about when I think about the state college system here. And not the last thing, but I mean, like this was something that was new to me on the radar. But anyway, like we keep going back and forth. It's not so much about the programs that he decided to cut. I think it's more about that they feel like they weren't heard.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure. And that's why I want to I'm trying to hurry and move on past this because there's so many other questions and there's so much more deep dive that needs to happen here to figure those things out and a bunch of things connected because we haven't even really gotten to the point where now that this vote of no confidence is out there, it's going to be up to the regents now to decide on whether or not he has to step down from his position, which, UNL, I feel like has a little bit of an issue there when it comes to people of color in those kinds of chancellor and vice chancellor positions.
That was my first thought. I'm not quite sure how much of that is here, but just side note, I actually had a conversation with a young lady who worked for, I want to say DHHS here in Georgia, and she was recently fired, and she, felt like she actually had grounds for a class action lawsuit as far as these 300 or so thousand black women that have recently been let go of positions, and it made me think of superintendent, the superintendent of OPS, and how she was unceremoniously kicked out or just left her position. A lot of questions on what happened with that. Also made me think of Councilwoman Juanita Johnson and how she was treated. Black women in government positions.
How Councilwoman LaVanya Goodwin gets treated right now.
Just a side note.
And with that, time to smell the coffee beans, I believe. I appreciate you guys joining us right now. Lots of questions and this, we get to, I love coming to a point like this because it's spurs so many different questions and so much other research that needs to be done, and we can literally ask questions to the end of the show because of how deep something can go. So We have to figure out points at which we can leave it and go do some research and come back and continue to talk about it. And the fact that we have the show that we can continue to come and talk about it is the point as well. So I appreciate everybody who is continuing this conversation and putting it on their mind. And we'll definitely dig in and come back and talk about it some more as well. But let's take a quick break right now just to kind of decompress for a second. And also to talk to you guys about a few things that's going on around town. And we'll come back and jump back into the conversation. It is 8:09 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, and if you do, then you know we're in the second hour of the First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
We'll be right back. Before we go, Senator McKinney in the chat saying this issue predates the chancellor. He was set up for failure. It's why the previous chancellor and president left state politics and investing prisons and canal projects, also tax cuts.
Yep.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. Also on that note, Nebraska Examiner is reporting that there's about a $320 million deficit in taxes that has not been paid by Nebraska taxpayers. So there's that as well.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So I love the fact that we have this chat, man. We got Senator McKinney coming in and saying what he's saying. It's also what we've been thinking and feeling and on the verge of feeling like saying, and getting more of that information. You know, that makes a lot of sense. The issues predate this particular chancellor. Yeah, we'll come back to it. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'll be Buddy the Guy. We'll be right back, y'all. Stay tuned. If I can quit fat finger. Be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'll be Buddy the Gawd. I appreciate you guys coming on through. We talked a lot about resources. It's funny, when we're trying to figure out what we're going to talk about during the day, sometimes we'll jump on a subject, and then because of the conversation, takes a whole turn. So we all about. I should have titled this about education today, but we entitled it Spaces and Places and Resources because we have this intent to start gathering a lot of these resources. You guys are doing such a great job of sending to Friends of First Guy Omaha, like this one. The Creighton University put this out. Food pantries in Omaha. Everybody there's a few people that's put this in Friends of and says spread it around. To locate addresses, use the link from the food bank, foodbankheartland.org. So this is information about this particular food bank. Of course, we've been trying to raise funds for the Black Men United food bank that's been heavy in our neighborhoods, but there are other food banks out here as well, and you can see the list of those and which ones are open on which days. You can definitely check this out in Friends of First Guy Omaha. It's been posted a few times, but we'll definitely figure out a place to put some of these resources. Shout out to everybody who posted this. This post is supported by Center for Promoting Health and Health Equity, racial and ethnic approaches to community health. So a couple of organizations there that are really trying to look out for everyone involved. Man. And there you go. So definitely check that out if you need. Also in the resources situation here, we talk about jobs. This is another one that gets posted in Friends of First Guy Omaha all the time. Shout out to Raquel Henderson.
Hey, the Jobinista.
The Jobinista, we call her. Yeah. She's definitely the one who, she was doing this for a while, man. We called her a Jobinista for a minute. She was always posting stuff with job leads. This one is for Metropolitan Community College, hiring for custodian on the Fort campus. Starts at 1943. Shout out to her for posting this, and shout out to Paul Philman, who's reposting her stuff too. There's another job lead That's the one we just talked about for custodian at Fort Campus. Also, Tyson is hiring for general warehouse labor positions.
Okay.
Starting pay has increased to $21.60 an hour, with shifts for second shift, third shift. What is third shift? Is that midnight?
Yeah, that's the graveyard.
Jeez.
Yeah, I used to work that.
Someone with a fourth shift if they could.
Man.
Outside of time, after your 24 hours is up.
Time.
So anyway, shout out. Yeah, we're thinking about where we can gather some of these resources here, and jobs are one of them that I'd love to be able to do, since it comes to us all the time. So yeah, if you need that, or if you want to spread that's even better. Spread it to people on your page or whatever that you think might be interested in those jobs, or somebody in your family that needs one. We'll continue to put those in Friends of First Sky Omaha, if you will. So appreciate that. With that, we're going to go ahead and move on. Again, 8:15. If you believe in the concept of time, we've been having a discussion the first hour really about education, about what's going on at OPS. Now we've jumped into what's happening with the chancellor over there at, what is it, UNO, UNL? Which one is it?
UNL.
UNL. Yep. Lots of comments I'm seeing in here on all those things. Yep. And again, that's because there's lots to talk about here. Buddy, what's standing out to you over there?
Yeah, I did want to acknowledge Sister Kimra's comment about what happened with Dr. Logan, who again was the superintendent of OPS. She says Dr. Logan had no family here. She was a newlywed, and everybody, including her husband, were back on the East Coast. I could not say that she got kicked out. Talking about again my comments about how she exited her position as superintendent with OPS, but still the sentiment still stands. But thank you for that clarification. Also, let's see, Brother Anthony Rogers Wright also in the chat kind of commenting, saying cutting earth and atmospheric sciences while we're in the midst of a climate crisis is insane and not strategic at all. He also goes on to say, and we can't blame this on Trump. Plenty of university presidents have told Trump to kick rocks and stood up to him, which is where I want to take off and go into the next story with that, because there are some things happening at the federal level with Trump and the education system. Again, this being reported by the Nebraska Examiner, the Trump administration is apparently unveiling a plan to try to dismantle the Department of Education, which again is leading to the grander question of what is going on with education here in this nation. Again, being reported, President Donald Trump's administration took major steps yesterday in trying to dismantle the U.S. Department of Education, announcing that 6 interagency agreements have been signed with other departments that will take over responsibilities of that agency. The announcement was immediately, of course, met with intense backlash from Democratic members of Congress who questioned its legality, and labor unions. Of course, we've seen several videos of congressional Democrats trying to if you remember, trying to storm really the building, the education building in D.C. to try to figure out what's going on, to touch the soil themselves. If you remember, they were blocked by those Doge workers. And here we are again, where the system is ongoing. The situation is happening. And, shout out to Senator Terrell McKinney, who's informing us that a lot of the decisions we're seeing in Nebraska are being made by Pillen, which is a huge cause for concern when you see where this is going. It's not just about the Trump administration dismantling the Department of Education, but he is very clear that he wants to take control of the schools back to the states. Again, the agreements that they have are with the Departments of Labor, Interior, Health and Human Services, and State. And Trump has sought to take an axe to the 46-year-old department in his quest to return education, quote unquote, back to the states. The announcement really follows the plan that President Trump, this is according to Education Secretary Linda McMahon, who says the announcement really follows the plan that President Trump has had since day one, and that is returning education to the states. He fully believes, as she does, the best education is that's closest to the child and not run from the bureaucracy of Washington, D.C. But again, we can, point to certain points in history where states controlled their school situation, and certain communities weren't given that opportunity to learn, which might be a part of the Making America Great Again. Trying to go back.
That's wild.
Way back.
Every time you say Linda McMahon education, I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, man. I mean,
what a time we live in.
Maybe that was your cue to know that time was limited on education.
I don't even have a comment. What say you? Let us know. Let us know how you feel about that. This has been in the news a lot, and I did get a few people that hit us up about that. And some of the alternative news groups that we check out and follow are talking about that too. This dismantling of the Department of Education. We've been talking about it. I feel like since Ricketts was in trying to take over the state one. So all part of this plan from trying to make DEI obsolete, and even before that, a critical race theory, attack on, we
CRT.
Definitely pause for, yeah. And I would say, just not to play devil's advocate, but like for some of us, the education, the education of our community is not up to par. And when we talk about starting our own schools or other alternatives, it is like it's like we're talking about dismantling a lot of what's happening. We also been complaining that they've been taking things out of social studies and messing with the curriculum. And is the Department of Education doing what it needs to do in the first place? I mean, I don't believe that you just should. The go to is always just, well, shut it down, dismantle it, fire everybody, like how Trump does everything. But could use some reworking.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm with you on that. The system wasn't working the way it is. Definitely, as I mentioned, should be a movement and not just a moment. This is an opportunity to really imagine the space and place that we want. A real public education system that really does what we all know it's supposed to be doing and is not doing. But at the same time, this isn't. I don't think this is quite the direction. And like I do agree, maybe dismantling or rebuilding, or we do need some radical changes, which involves both dismantling and rebuilding something new. But again, the notion of taking it back to the states, do we really trust the Marco Rubios of the world to decide what our children will be learning? Do we really trust the Greg Abbotts of the world to decide what our children are, the Ilan Pillins of the world to decide what our children are learning?
I bring it back to Omaha, bro. Linda in the chat says, yes, a huge cause for concern. Remember when he told that person, I'm not a politician? So what is Pillin doing with it? Is, bring it back to Nebraska with that. What is Pillin doing there? It's a cause for concern. When Pillin said he's not a politician, I thought about how that's half the reason why a lot of people voted for Trump, because they first thing out of their mouth, well, he's not a politician, he's a businessman. We need to do something in this country, and that was the draw for a lot of people, that they're not a politician. Well, where are you getting your knowledge on how to run politics then?
Man. And foreign policy. I mean, where are we going with this? Skilo Slim with some information. He says the Department of Education enforces federal discrimination laws. It makes more sense when you understand that. Also, Marlon Harrison gives us more information. He says the DOE also handles scholarships and financial aid for colleges and universities, which is the big thing, especially when you, look at how colleges and universities in California responded when Reagan ran on a Make America Great Again platform. I mean, history doesn't repeat itself, but it sure as hell rhymes, man. I mean, I
remember a time when they used to at least try to make their own slogans, even if it meant the same thing. He just gonna bite Reagan all the word for word.
Now he's not biting Reagan. He's following the Heritage Foundation formula. It's the playbook. It's not the president. The president is just a figurehead. We all know this. He's running the play. The grand old party play. He's running it. That's all. They just need a quarterback. He ain't the owner of the team. He ain't even a coach. He ain't even a coordinator.
He ain't even water boy. He ain't even water boy.
Man.
Linda says, if you dismantle the Department of Education, where would one get school accreditation?
That's a great question. It's left up to the states, which again, do we really trust the Marco Rubios of the world to do this? When I went to school in Florida, the HBCU that I went to frequently had its accreditation threatened. actually lost its accreditation at one point, which means thousands of students who are paying thousands of dollars to get their education they're getting a paperweight.
Wow.
So
That's
yeah, I mean, it's again, do we really is leaving it up to the states the best scenario for us?
Well, here we are, 8:24 in the morning, if you believe in the concept of time, and this is kind of the point in the show where we get to a lot of times. Matter of fact, I'm gonna look. I'm about to let's get dramatic about this.
Go ahead, what you got?
What I got is what Carol Warner is putting that I'm picking up what she's putting down. It's absolutely imperative that we supplement our children's curriculum at home.
Have to.
So part of the show, sometimes we get to this part in the show where we're like, well, what are we gonna do beyond these programs? And definitely got to talk about it. We definitely got to talk about how it is that we can adjust what it is that we're doing all the way around. Now, accreditations and degrees and all those things are important too. Having the education, having the knowledge first, I think, is probably first and foremost and paramount. There's a lot of people out here that don't know much that got degrees,
man.
But yeah, so that's part of this idea is that we got to try to figure out what we are going to do. Thank you, Mama God, call to action.
Man, I mean, it's time to start educating each other. We have to educate ourselves. It starts at school, or it starts at home. And there are about 30 minutes left in the show. So to kind of forecast the next story and where I'm going with this, it's not just about education, but it's also about the communication of it. Think about NPR, think about PBS, think about the educational programming, the documentaries, Reading Rainbow. That also supplemented those programs. That information also supplemented school. I mean, think about Sesame Street and its whole, the whole point of Sesame Street.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Sesame Street was created for inner city youth, urban communities that weren't up to standard when it came to reading scores and test scores and reading in their grade. We've been here before. Education system hasn't worked in stuff and creatively in love soldiery wise. You know what I'm saying? Love supreme soldiers come out and create art in order to help educate kids. Man. When the school system's not working because it was atrocious in the 70s.
And here we are again, Beeee, which history does not repeat itself, but it sure rhymes. You says the education was bad when?
70s.
When was Reagan running?
Reagan was governor? 80. He was the governor in the 70s and brought us into the 80s with that mess.
Which is all a response to the civil rights movement. That's all it was. That's all it was. Anyway.
Ruby Bridges still alive right now.
Come on, man.
Man, we walked her to school.
I mean, Mama God is in the chat right now. My mom is a part of the first generation of schools that were bused out of their community. My mom is a part of the first generation of desegregated schools. We're not talking about, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, this is now.
This is now. Beeee is also in I want to acknowledge her chat. She says, good morning, y'all. Education is being attacked at the national level. This is why we must fight for what our kids need on the local level and figure out our priorities, like making sure kids are fed at school. And I do, again, feel that all board members want to feed the children and I'm confident that you all will figure it out. So there's that.
Also, Anthony Rogers Wright is also saying public education is also being attacked at the state level as many are pushing school choice and vouchers BS.
That is another thing. Nebraska Examiner is reporting that there is a funding committee that recently met and is figuring out the funding formula for schools in Nebraska. And yes, Brother Anthony Rogers Wright, that is in the backdrop of that.
Also, Marlon Harrison in the chat, he's saying, let's be honest, how many parents or grandparents are actually going to teach their kids? I know a lot of parents and grandparents who sadly don't care. Marlon Harrison is in education. He's also in the OPS system and brings us a lot of information and comes from that perspective. Totally agree. This is not whenever I'm talking about what are we going to do, it can't be a replacement. We also still have to fight for how things need to be in OPS. in order for it, for the kids that don't have the privilege of being able to be taught by homeschooled or taught by their family, for whatever reasons, whether they don't care or whether they just got too many jobs and don't have time or whatever the deal is. They got to be able to go to school and learn what they need to learn. So the fight needs to happen on both sides at the same time, parallel to each other, not just abandoning what's going on with schools for trying to teach your kids at home. But we definitely have to do that, and maybe there can even be supplemental programs and other things that happen after school if the parents couldn't do some of that stuff. I know, Buddy, you were teaching classes at the Afro-American bookstore at one point when you got back in town. So,
yeah,
it's there's other alternatives out there. We just kind of have to get in our brain that everything that you need is not going to be given to you at school. And I think most parents know that. I think most parents try to do the best they can, and some just can't. So we still have to fight for that. But we also have to remember there are good teachers out there. There's people out there that do care, that are in the system, that are trying to make it work for the kids as well. So it's how can we support them? How can we support those efforts? Maybe a question as well. Lots to talk about when it comes to that. Anthony Rogers Wright says, who is not having problems with education? Cuba, Colombia, Venezuela, Iran. Boy, we need to talk about Venezuela.
Man.
India, Brazil, and the People's Republic of China. Guess what they'll all have in common?
Let us know.
Yeah, yeah. It's
What is it? I'm
Say it, brother Anthony Rogers Wright. What do they have in common? Besides, we could say a few things. Universal health care. There's a whole bunch of stuff they got in common there. But yeah, what they got in common as far as schools are concerned and education. Appreciate everybody's comment on this. Like you said, half an hour left in the show. It's about 8:30 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, this has been a very lively conversation. A conversation that has naturally morphed into what it is when it comes to this. We did have a couple more things that we had ready to present, and definitely want to do that. Before we get to that, though, I wanted to. I lost the page that I was saving.
Oh,
I'll come back to that. Yeah. Shout out to part of the show today was we're talking about resources a little bit. And the fact that it's kind of coming to us that since we get so many people sending resources over to Friends of First Sky Omaha, especially that we need to make sure that we can try to gather them in one spot and bring them out. We talk about them on the show. We talk about it on the show all the time anyway. So we definitely need to make sure that we do that. So let me share my page real quick as we kind of take a little bit of not a break, but just a little bit of a
breather.
Yeah, just kind of turn the tides here a little bit. Shout out to Paul Philman, who posted this Project International Update 2025 Omaha Holiday Assistance Programs. You are loved. So they talk. There's a whole list of things here and some links. The reason why I'm not posting this is because it's already in Friends of First Sky Omaha. I actually pin it to the top so you can go check it out there and hit these links. But Heartland Hope Mission offers some holiday assistance. Also, Open Door Mission. So this is information all in one spot that talks about like Christ Community Church, Christmas Store, New Visions, homeless services, some real serious situations here. Organizations that are trying to help people in very serious situations. Black Men United is on here, Christmas Food Pantry, Prison Fellowship, Angel Tree. Definitely go check this out. Like I said, I'll pin it in Friends of First Sky Omaha. I'll do that right now, as a matter of fact, and pin to the featured. So you can go check it out and hit some of these links if you need it. There's a lot there, so I highly suggest you study that and check it out. But yeah, again, we're talking about Skitho Sims says slow socialism. Yeah, I feel that. That's what they got. We get from the what they got in common over there. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody who is sending that stuff in and letting us know what's going on. Really interesting. I keep on hearing about Momdami who's getting attacked left and right for his socialist stance on things. We got to go back and talk. It's always good. Follow the Money is going to be a very deep capitalistic conversation on capitalism in a big way.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be especially interesting. I mean, you mentioned Venezuela. Follow the money. Man. That petrodollar is a mug.
You hear about all the warships being positioned in the Caribbean?
It's ugly, man. And they calling it out, man. I love what I'm seeing from these South American these American leaders. I love,
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, I love what I'm seeing from these South American leaders. They're calling it out, man. And we haven't talked about the Epstein of it all, but listen, man, we know who running this country, man. We know who it
Mm.
is.
Well, we know who running this show. My name is Paul B.
Hey,
He's
Paul
the
B.
God. We're gonna take a quick break, come back, and jump into it. Finish out the last half hour of the show. Thanks for everybody who has their comments. They're joining us. They're stimulating the brain.
Yeah, man.
We'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned.
They're a bunch of megalomaniac warmongers.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back for Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning. My bad. You caught me slipping. I was trying to do something.
RG calls that your buddy's dramatic pause.
Yeah. The pregnant pause. You gotta let it breathe.
Breathe. All right. We're back. Appreciate you. You guys are Atlanta Falcons hat on today, I see, huh?
Yeah. Black cities, black mayors.
Interesting. Like that idea. Everybody don't like that idea, but we like it.
Hey.
A few more things that we wanted to jump into today. We appreciate that. Yes, thank you, Ariel's Pro 2. Hit the like button if you're on the YouTube, especially, please.
Make it hot.
Hot the like button. Make it hot. And also subscribe if you haven't as well. We're still trying to build the memberships there on YouTube. This is season 3B. Space is the place. Coming to an end here pretty soon. We got about another 3 weeks or so before we get to our break.
That's it?
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. It's already past mid-November, which is crazy. We'll be out of here December 15th. That's when we take our break. We come back January 15th for season, 4B?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's all about following the money, which we are already kind of getting into this discussion even before we get to the next season. Following that money. Oh, what's happening here?
This is the new episode of Lanes of Change. I kind of wanted to play just a little beginning couple minutes of it, just to give people a preview of what's going on, and kind of set up the remainder of the show, the rest of the conversation, jumping into the changes with this Corporation for Public Broadcasting Communication. So we're talking about.
Yeah, max that screen out because you teased me with that Jay Dilla. Like,
yeah. Don't pay no attention to that. That's distractions. But yeah, I mean, I ain't want to cut you off. You want to jump into it?
Hit it, bro.
Hey, all right. Well, check this out, y'all. Again, this is a preview.
We in the theater now. Go ahead and start the movie.
Yeah, man. Preview of the latest episode of Lanes of Change, Strategic Communication Part 1. Check it out. We begin our exploration of the elements of revolution with our first lane, strategic communication, or as we like to call it, journalism is activism. We sat down with Flatwater Free Press reporter Chris Babyboy Bowling and Untamed founder Sherman Wells to explore the fourth estate, the current state of journalism, and the people's fight to have their voices heard.
The fourth estate is the press. It is an independent voice that checks, whatever the government is telling us, whatever the people in power are telling us. You have to have people that are independently checking if things are going the way they're supposed to, if money is being spent the way that it's supposed to, if there are people that are, getting hurt or, put aside, in the interest of helping other people. I mean, it's very important for just the health of a good society.
I believe the fourth estate is definitely being attacked, is being suppressed. If you don't go along with the system of what the information that they're putting out, then they will shut you down or attempt to shut you down. But luckily, we in an era where you can post on multiple platforms to get yourself going. So I think the fourth estate is definitely under attack and being suppressed. But it's very important that we continue to do what we do, because the news won't report it the way we want it to. Local, national, we have to be able to report it and not be afraid to tell the truth. Report it, even if it is going against what we believe is the system or the way to do it. So.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, man. Definitely, again, shout out to Chris Baby Boy Bolin and Big Sherman Wells for taking the time to speak with us and embark on that journey with us. There's another part coming, currently working on that, so look out. But yeah, it's available now on YouTube. Go ahead and check that out. But yeah, we're going to be exploring it. Communication. I mean, that's definitely something that's near and dear to our hearts. Of course, is what we do day in and day out. But it's important, to the grander scheme of this nation. Of course, the First Amendment, we all know freedom of speech, the role that it plays. But, with some of these recent news updates and things, changing on the media landscape, got to talk about it. And again, a big part of what we can do about it, that's really one of the first things, one of the biggest things is the freedom of speech and speaking out. And, first of all, arming yourselves with the knowledge, with the facts, as Cameron talked about earlier. But then again, once you get the facts, speak out, have your voices heard. Freedom of the press. Journalism is not just a license you have to get. Everybody has the right to print something, and spread it out.
That's right. Speak out. First Amendment right. Very first thing the founding fathers did when they came over here was like, we got to be able to speak up. Obviously, they were being oppressed in England when they were they were trying to speak out against things that was happening. So there it is. Mama God said free speech is on attack, full stop.
Man.
Especially right now. More than I've ever seen it in my lifetime. For sure.
It's something that's going on. But again, one of our favorite words here on the show, litigation is rearing its ugly head in this situation. Of course, earlier this year, this is being reported by NPR. Earlier this year, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting agreed to follow the pressures of the Trump administration, pulling a $36 million multi-year contract right from under NPR. But now, after litigation and has been resolved, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting has agreed to reinstate that $36 million to NPR. The agreement, which is a part of a broader lawsuit by NPR and several other stations against the Trump administration, focuses on the Corporation for Public Broadcasting funding for NPR's operation of satellite distribution systems for public radio stations. So again, the likes of our local stations, and many local stations across the nation, which, really felt the brunt of the move. Of course, NPR, PBS, at its national scale, at its national level, they have the donors, they have the underwriting, they really have the finances to keep going. But it is those local affiliate stations that really felt the brunt of that. Again, the judge in the case had explicitly told CPB's legal team that he did not find his defense credible, saying that their lawyers had argued that the decision to award contract instead of public media infrastructure, which is a new consortium of public media institutes, was driven by a desire to foster digital innovations more swiftly, but saying that was not the case, wholeheartedly saying that this was a response to pressures from the Trump administration. So a big win for public broadcasting, a big win for media news that's not and really, if you think about it, NPR, PBS are some of the only platforms that are not really leaned on or really influenced by major corporate donors and major advertisers and political pressure.
Yeah,
to an extent.
To an extent. I mean, it's still made up of people
Right.
who have their own agenda sometimes. But in general, it was made for the public. I actually saw a post from a president. I can't remember which president it was, that when they started PBS, for public broadcasting, the speech he was talking about, this is for the people, it's for the education of the people. This is going to be free, a place that you can go and you can learn and so on. So, the sentiment behind what it's supposed to be, and that kind of I feel like extended. It kept going that way in that direction, and every day right now it gets to that point right now. I think a lot more people that I thought are listen to KIOS out here,
Yeah.
which is our NPR station. I didn't realize like how I knew that it's been a regular in my life, but didn't really recognize like how many people in town actually listen to KIOS, and how popular it actually is. And part of it is the fact that there is the NPR programming there. So they're not out of the woods yet. NPR and PBS, they still have a little bit of trouble because these affiliate stations actually pay them. Like we raise money for KIOS so that they can pay NPR to run NPR programming.
Mm-hmm.
So even though NPR nationally has some funds and things like that, they also really depend on some of these affiliate places as well. If they shut down, then that's a source of revenue that shuts down NPR altogether as well. So there's a lot to it. I keep on encouraging everybody around me to donate to KIOS. I think it's our community radio station, public radio station. It's a resource. It is not just for news and information, not just to maintain what NPR is doing, but also BBC's on there. We learn a lot. That's a radio channel that we can get some outside perspective from another place as well. And then the biggest part of those, the local news and the local shows and things that are happening on KIOS.
Mm-hmm.
So I highly encourage, do the $5, $10, $15, whatever you can to support those stations as well as those smaller stations that really need the help, and kind of stay out of some things too. Otherwise, all we have is like the mainstream that is slanted, and that's really all the information that we get. There's a lot of movies out there right now about how Fox News brainwashed my dad, type of movies out there, because if that's all you watch, if that's the only perspective, then you might be in trouble. So we are in the strategic communication game and alternative news game. We're here for that. We're also here for the bigger organizations that are doing that as well. So good news, and Trump ain't happy about it.
No, not at all. But that's okay.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Anthony Rogers right. Socialism. There you go. Mama God says free speech is attack. We already said that.
Attack full stop.
We're saying again, free speech is on attack, full stop. We haven't gotten into it yet. We will do this in future shows. We might even do part of this during the Follow the Money season. We absolutely have to talk about who's behind the social media platforms. Mm-hmm. We have to talk about who's scraping your data. We got to talk about how your surveillance is being situated. We haven't yet gotten into what Peter Thiel is doing.
Man.
And we will have to get into these things because of the money that is behind so many of the things that we watch. All of our entertainment is directly tied to surveillance, is directly tied to the social media platforms. We have to constantly talk about how it is that we can communicate without engaging, because it's really coming down to that. Like everything, you're already being watched, surveilled already by AI, but it's going to get worse than that. When it comes to the way this administration is trying to push things and the moves they're making behind the scenes on how to check it out. So free speech, when we talk about socialism, we talk about how to deal with food insecurity. We talk about how to, universal health care, all these things that we normally associate with stuff like socialism. But we also got to talk about the communication, the freedom of speech, the freedom of communication that has to come with being able to not have it centralized and controlled and be surveilled through it. We're at a time right now where we're being surveilled through what we're watching, which is crazy. I even see videos all the time talking about that. Your TV is even watching you. There's so many things that are out there. We'll have to get to it because it's all about who owns it, following the money on those things. So we'll be talking about it. But yeah, free speech is attacked. And they're attacking it in schools. They have been peeling things back in schools of what they want to teach you. This war on public TV is just crazy to me that anybody would want to shut down PBS. It's just crazy to me.
It's the fourth estate. Let's just call it what it is. Trump, the Republican Party, they already have control of the Senate. They already have control of the White House. You see judges. I mean, he's putting judges in place left and right. The fourth estate is kind of the last, stronghold of the people, if you will, that the people have somewhat control of to keep an eye on what's going on. So yeah, but as we kind of wrap up this show, in our style, we do want to talk about some of the solutions that people are putting out to this in the form of journalism trust, something that we've been actually very close to, very involved in. Shout out to our partners at Flatwater Free Press and the good folks over at the Nebraska Journalism Trust, not just
Yeah.
Flatwater, but Prairie News, Documenters Program. They're getting down, man. And again, this is something that is spreading throughout the nation. Actually, shout out again to Nebraska Examiner for talking about other small town areas that are also launching their own trusts, as we see again, especially actually talked about on the show, the idea of news deserts. Again, communities that have one or no news at all. Again, just imagine we're talking about education, but not having news around, not knowing what's going on, not knowing what council, city council is doing or the mayor is doing, or not knowing anything. Again, it's a very interesting thought. But again, shout out to those who are fighting the good fight. The Sunrise Publications Journalism Trust, which is a nonprofit foundation aimed at gathering financial support via tax-deductible contributions from individuals and organizations to keep their paper going. This, again, out of the Nebraska Examiner. I'm talking about the poll haulers and community leaders in southeast Nebraska's Pawnee County, who are again launching efforts to ensure that the future of the Republican, which is the oldest continuously published weekly paper in the state, continues. Again, the effort in Pawnee County has a population of about 2,500. So we're talking about a small community, a rural duplicate of what has happened in many urban areas. Of course, we've seen the Omaha World Herald over the last few years downsize. And of course, the uptick of nonprofit and alternative news outlets like Flatwater Free Press over the last few years. Also, the Western Iowa Journalism Foundation is also following suit. They're based out of a farmhouse outside of Breda, Iowa, and they now hand out more than $300,000 a year in grants, helping a whopping 11 community newspapers add and retain staff and fund the transition to digital publication. Something, again, we're in the thick of ourselves, trying to raise funds, hire journalists, train journalists to tell the story, to continue doing what we're doing right now, letting you all, the people, know what's going on, because y'all know it's a lot. So with that, Paul, what say you?
Yeah. Oh man, lots to say on this subject. First of all, we think about the news deserts and the things that you talk about when it comes to like where we're at in our society. With the advent of the internet, the news, the 24-hour news cycle, all these things that have made it so now there's really, and not just the news cycles, but also social media like Facebook, Google, these entities that have taken up so much ad revenue that the old models of newspapers and news desks don't work anymore because they can't sell enough ads in order to keep things going. So when you have a Omaha Star that's figuring out different ways to continue this, they're doing something almost magical because of the fact that we're living in a time when this, like I said, Omaha World Herald had to get saved by the Buffetts first of all, from going out of business, and then get downsized in order to keep going. That's the biggest paper that we have in Omaha. So just seeing that is the case is really something else. Also, my mind jumps to the Omaha Institute for Nonprofit Journalism, which is another trust that was built by our mentor, John Heaston, who saw the writing on the wall years ago saying we need to come up with some kind of thing that can keep the reader going, the paper going. Documenters at the time he was trying to help keep going. He was helping us keep going. He was instrumental in saving a lot of the situations that was happening at the Omaha Star. He was seeing the writing on the wall on what it is you need to put together. He was in those early meetings with the guys over at Flatwater, Matt Wynn, and those guys who were having meetings before Flatwater was even formed. Yeah. We were sitting in those rooms trying to figure out how to get news paid for.
At Due Space.
And, that's right. At Due Space. Remember those meetings?
Yeah, man.
So before all these things were popping off, and so here we are years later, and that's what we're in that realm. There is news, there is nonprofit dollars out there, but man, this article was super inspiring just because of the fact that we're talking about some people that decided that they're going to start their own trust to keep this money raised in order to keep this information flowing. we don't know how bad it is. We don't know how bad it is, especially in rural areas of the state and other rural areas in this country. Whole radio stations and newspapers have shut down. And when you think about the local radio stations that shut down, that means that they can't do emergency broadcast systems anymore. They can't tell you when a tornado's coming. They're not supplying any information for how it is that you are trying to survive out there.
Just lost in the sauce, just out in the wind.
Out in the wind. Shout out to Flatwater Free Press, who's an organization that structured themselves to be able to supply and supplement some of those rural newspapers and radio stations with news so that they can try to continue on with that, because they can't afford reporters. There's a lot of newsrooms out there that are run by one person.
Man.
There's a lot of local newspapers and local radio stations that are run by one person that's going out and doing the reporting and coming back and writing it up and getting on the air and talking about it. And it's crazy out here when it comes to this. You think that you can look at your phone and turn on the TV and see millions of pieces of information floating around you all the time, but what's being hidden is the stuff that you actually really need.
That part.
The organizations like us and all the other news gang people are out here trying to circumvent, trying to battle.
Man,
it's crazy.
And man, when you put it like that, man, it's kind of no wonder why people get on the waves that they get on and trying to combat CRT when they really don't know what it is, and talking about DEI when they really don't know what it is, and really drinking the Kool-Aid, man. I mean, you can see how the public is being manipulated. It's very clear.
We always hear this term. We want to create a well-informed society. We never lived in a time before where we were less informed. With all this technology around us and all this information flowing all the time, we're less informed than ever. So I hate to always be reiterating why we're sitting here, but this is why we're doing what we're doing. And people like Miss Cheryl Weston, shout out to her, shout out to Sherman Wells, shout out to Flatwater Free Press, Chris Baby Boy Bolin, shout out to Documenters, Vince Furlong, who was the Chad Chimer First Sky Omaha friend and content creator alumni, who's now working for Documenters. Like, shout out to everybody who's trying to do their small part in getting the right information out to people, and also providing a platform and a space for people to be heard that need to speak up and tell us what it is that we need to be talking about. This is what it is. Man, RG said talking about woke when they don't know what it is.
I mean, that's just the system is working how it is. I think of the John D. Rockefeller and the public school board. And the quote that it's not for a well educated public. This is for cogs in the wheel. This is for people to work. But now that they got Palantir and they don't need you to work anymore. They got AI. Thus, the dismantling of the education system. They don't need you to work anymore. So you don't need to learn anything. Because if you learn anything, then you're going to vote. And you see how they treat you when you vote. They treat you like you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, they treat you like you don't know what you're voting for. And try everything to undermine your vote.
Shout out to the movie My Omaha. You definitely need to continue to check that out. I was featuring Leo Lewis, filmmaker there, showed us exactly that through his own story with his father. And his father saying exactly that. His father said, as a matter of fact, I've quoted his father several times in this in this episode. His father was the one that was like, Donald Trump don't need this money. He's not a politician. He's not doing this to get rich. I mean, we all know he is. and is absolutely getting more rich using his position to make money.
It's absolutely.
But that was the viewpoint of people that were leaning towards him, is that he's not a politician. He's out here to try to make the company thrive, the country. Excuse me. Ooh, Freudian slip. Make the hot button make the button hot. Make the like button hot. Do us a favor. Like and subscribe. Let us know. And even after we're off air, you can share the show on your page if you would. We definitely want to make sure that we're gathering the folks. It's working. We've been doing this for some years now, and I see it. Every time I go out anywhere, I talk to people that are just like, we peeping what you guys are doing over there for sure. And it's needed. It's definitely needed. A lot of people have told me this is where they get their news. Man, they don't even look at the news no more. I'm like, well, wait a minute. You need some more sources than just us. Number one, check out Flatwater Free Press, Nebraska Examiner, some other people that are doing the work. Sherman Wells, who's in the chat, appreciate you. He says, before y'all head out, there is a messed up story coming out of North Omaha right now. Breaking news,
Man.
Where an elder with dementia was arrested, sentenced, and jailed by these people. After a while, once they realized he was sick, they commuted his sentence and let him out early instead of contacting his family to say they were releasing him. They put him out of jail, and he wandered off and was missing, then unknowingly walked into traffic and was hit by a car and passed away. I did hear about this person getting hit by this car. I'm so mad. Shout out to Sherman Wells. I saw the news article about the elderly man getting hit by a car. None of this context. Perfect example why we do what we do. None of this context.
Community.
Thank you, brother. We will absolutely be looking into this for real. Shout out to Sherman Wells. Go to Sherman L. Wells' page, man. He's gonna have some more information on this, I'm quite sure, and we're gonna have to dive in as well. Man, the elder abuse out here is really something.
Man,
I'm still thinking about the pictures you sent us, bro.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to talk about. You know, Sherman Wells, you know, reminding us of what's happening with the brother at the retirement home. Also reminded me of Brother Levi Blake, who, again, those people, as he's talking about, tried to act like he wasn't even missing. Another brother with dementia.
Brother who had a heart attack in a jail cell. They're not paying no attention to him. His screams for help.
Sorry to end it on that, but
yeah, me too. But hopefully you're fired up. Shout out to Sherman. I'm glad you came in and brought this to our attention here. I appreciate it. We are going to go ahead and go. We're at the end of the show, but obviously we got some things to look into. We appreciate it. Ariel's 402 said praying for his family.
Man, big time.
Big time. Go to Sherman L. Wells' page, man. Get some information. I'm quite sure that he'll be talking about this more too. He says they would not have done nothing like that if he was a non-black man. Everybody's getting abused. I think that black men, especially older black men with dementia, is getting abused a lot worse. I'm seeing in a lot of different examples that I can even attest to personally. It ain't. Whew, the incompetence of those that are supposed to be most competent. Thanks for the sentiment. I appreciate you. Skilo Slim, peace and blessings to his family.
There you go.
Peace and blessings to y'all, man. As you can see, this is so totally necessary. When you see people like this, it's not just about strategic communication. Sherman Wells telling us about what's going on. You know that if he's telling us about what's going on, he's there supporting the family in the mix, doing something about it. Yeah. Wouldn't that be something if a reporter from Channel 7 wasn't just reporting on the news, but actually like helping what he was reporting on? Sounds wild. But guess what? That's what's happening here. Love you too, brother.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you.
Love you, bro.
Appreciate all of you, man. We'll catch up with you on Friday and continue this conversation. Hopefully we'll have Kimra on to talk a little bit more about the situation at the school board, and you know, get into the meat of it. What can we do to help these babies eat and not feel embarrassed that when they go up to the line and they don't have their there's no money on their books. So we got to figure it out for them, and we got to figure it out for everybody. There's some great players involved. Shout out to Bree Full. Shout out to Kimra Snipes. Shout out to Jane Ernberger. Shout out to everybody on the board that is trying to do something for the school, for the babies, and everybody else on the outside as well that are trying to figure this out. We're here to try to help whatever communication we can. We're trying to be the ministers of communication for our neighborhoods, and if there's anything we can do to help to try to make this narrative be something that everybody can get on board with, let us know. And we'll keep on digging on more information and other things as well as we continue to talk about on Friday. Wanda Lewis, Sherman Wells just came on and told us about this. The 70-year-old man who got killed trying to cross the intersection. Look at his post. The story, the context is really hurtful. I'm sure there's going to be some people standing up on this. Sherman Wells is on the case.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and get out of here, man. Again, we hope that Manny Fresh in the house. He said, "Good morning. Any updates on Ricky Smith? No updates on Ricky Smith yet. Thanks for asking. we will absolutely dig in and try to find some. See, we heard he was back in town. That was the last thing we heard. He was back in town. So not sure how he's doing, but we will inquire and see. And if anybody has any of that information, let us know. Put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha as well. And yeah, there we go. We usually try to take Monday to set intention for the week. This is Wednesday. I'm finding some new intention today to try to figure some things out with what's happening here. And whatever you got, Brother Wells, let us know. We'll use our platform to boost it.
Word.
To get the word out here too. So appreciate you. Final words, buddy.
Man, just thank you. Thank you to everybody who chimed in, who listened, even if you just popped in and continue with your day. We appreciate you. Make sure you go back and watch the show in its entirety. We covered a lot, talked about a lot, and hopefully you learned a lot from today's show. I definitely thank you all for your support, man. And hopefully we'll continue to receive that support as we try to grow, try to expand, try to, just be a little bit better, man. What's it? The 3% rule, 3% every day. A long way, man. So we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. Catch the same time, same place, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul.
In the morning.
Hey. And with that, take it away.
Right on, man. Pop says, yep, First Sky keeps on growing, and I love it. Yes, for me, it's First Sky and PBS. Great show. Great show, and see you all on Friday. I appreciate that. Appreciate that very much. Yeah. That's well said. We're going to try to make it happen. And yes, we are expanding 2026 expansion in some of this news as well. Shout out to the organizations that are helping us bring on new journalists in order to expand some of these stories and all this stuff. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. So we really appreciate that. Linda in the chat real quick says it's sick because every time I have gone to jail, they're making sure I'm straight, feeding me sandwiches, cracking jokes, even giving me a tablet first before two chicks who got processed before me, etc. Who let him go? Talking about living in the white world and getting treated a certain way when you're in jail and white perceiving. Linda is of mixed race, but yeah, there is like we're trying to get out of here, but we could go on and on about this. This is the reason why we get so upset about this. Not just that we're sad that this happened to this man and he got treated this way. We'd be upset if anybody got treated this way. But the point a lot of times is it ain't everybody that gets treated this way. She said, I'm white when it serves me. Right. And that's the messed up part about it is that, like you said, man, my mind goes to Levi Blake. My mind goes to the pictures that Sherman sent to the brother who's in nursing home. Why are we getting treated this way? Why? And we got to have soldiers like Sherman going down somewhere, standing up, putting people on blast in order to be treated like human beings. I'm not going to get to the third hour here on this. We got to get out of here.
Human rights movement. It's time for it.
So I get riled up, then Buddy will have to get on a Buddy blast, and he just bought his glasses. He can't throw them against the wall right this minute.
I need these.
Buddy, you do realize that when you do a Buddy blast and the lens pops out, you might want to put them glasses back on so you can let the lens pop out when you do a Buddy blast, because it's just part of the.
And then put it back on with the lens missing, looking all crazy. I still got them. They might make a comeback. They might.
If that's what's going to be the new cue is when Buddy gets upset, he's just going to go down like this and he's going to come up with a whole new and we know it's about to be on.
Oh, man.
Shout out to the First Sky fam. Appreciate everybody's help helping us grow, man. Shout out to Linda. Shout out to Amy. Shout out to Brother Najee. We're growing out here, man, making it happen. We appreciate you. Shout out to everybody and all the other unofficial First Sky Omaha employees like Marlon Harrison, man about town, brother RG bringing us all kinds of information. Shout out to our resident researcher, man, Kimra Snipes. Like y'all, we got some folks in the chat chimers that are in the chat chimer club that's really helping us do what we do. So we really appreciate all of you for real. Wanda Lewis always coming with some information, education. Appreciate you. What's going on with the funding that OPD received for mental health? Haven't seen one instance where this has been implemented. Call them out, Wanda Lewis. Call them out. So many things to continue to talk about. How could we stop? So, man, we'll continue on this conversation on Friday and the rest of the season. Stick with us. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. We're going to get out of here. Shout out to Maha Tribe Elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before you. And shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. Thank you for all of your comments, man. Even Anthony Rogers, right? A whole nother country chiming in, coming in, talking to us. People in other states coming on in, talking to us. We appreciate you. Appreciate everybody.
Thank you.
In a big way. Thank you. Thank you. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you guys on Friday. Enjoy this weather. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the red